Hi everybody, I'm Mad. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be picking out my February TBR, and February is Black History Month, so I'm going to try and fit as many Black authors and as many Black books as I can on my TBR, but it's also the first time that I'm implementing my TBR game. I've seen all of the YouTube girlies have TBR games, and so I wanted a TBR game, so I made one. You can see all of the different symbols. I'll put a key here for what they all mean so that we don't have to talk about it, and we can get right into it. This is the inaugural use of this game, so I will be rolling one 6-sided die. If we find out that that's putting too many books on my TBR, or I don't think that it'll put too few, but if it puts too many books on my TBR, then we may have to change up the way that I move my little piece. And for now, this is our piece. I didn't know what else to use, and he's just on my bookshelves all the time. Okay, hopefully we can see it. A 5. So I got a gravestone, which means horror. So the first book I'm putting on my TBR is unfortunately not a book by a Black author, but it is for a video project that I'm doing this month, and that's Knock Knock Open Wide by Neil Sharpson. Knock Knock Open Wide weaves horror and Celtic myth into a terrifying, heartbreaking, supernatural tale of fractured family bonds, the secrets we carry, and the veiled forces that guide Irish life. A specific booktuber put this on my radar, and that specific booktuber maybe this month's Read Like a Booktuber pick, so very excited for that one. Next roll. She's being quite nice to me so far. So the cards mean wild card. So let's pick our first one. And we have 25 and 2025. So I'm going to be picking for that one Parable of the Sower. This is a classic sci-fi book by Octavia Butler. It's actually set in 2024, and it's about the climate change crisis that is happening in this world. And so topical. Great for me. Great pick. This is roll 3. I should have written down what these meant because I can't remember anymore, but I'm pretty sure that this is TBR bet. So something that's been on my TBR for a long time. I'm going to put The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. I haven't physically owned this book for a while, but it's been on my TBR for years now, so I would very much like to get to it. This book is about a world where the government controls what you can remember, so one day there'll be birds. Everyone knows that there's birds. They're just a part of life. And then the next day there are no birds, and we also cannot remember that there are birds. And our protagonist finds letters of some of these things that have existed and are not existing in their current timeline that they can remember. It's compared to Fahrenheit 451, 1984, and 100 Years of Solitude, which I haven't read. I am excited about this. It's also translated to work, and I'm trying to read more of those this year. Okay, so this is Storygraph, and Storygraph has a feature where it can recommend you a book immediately based on my survey that I took. Children of Blood and Bone is on there, and I just got that from a coworker. Right here, that's so perfect. They killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us, now we rise. I have been finding more and more YA that's been working for me, especially YA fantasy. Very stoked to put this on the TBR. Facts, that means a nonfiction book. I will be picking up Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Y. Davis, Ferguson, Palestine, and the Foundations of a Movement. I picked up a lot of social justice books recently for no particular reason, and this one seems very short, and pretty much everything by Angela Y. Davis is super highly recommended. It's only like 140 pages. In order to be a responsible and educated American and human being, I want to be reading this, and I'm just excited to know more about social justice. I'm also trying to read one nonfiction a month, so I would have had to put one on my TBR anyway. 2. That's a fantasy book. That's great for me, as always. And we have to go with Bloodmark by Tracy Deonn. This is the second book in the Legendborn cycle, and the third book, Oathbound, comes out in March. I needed to put this on my TBR, and she's a chunky one, but I'm so excited. Brie Matthews is one of my favorite characters of all time. I adored her. I think that this Southern Gothic meets Arthurian fantasy is so interesting and unique, and the first book I adored. I just can't wait to get back to these characters, and I'm pretty sure that I'm buddy reading it with Tyra this month. I hope so. Tyra, let me know. The arc is an arc. Get it? I only think I have one arc to read for February, but happy to get it off my NetGalley shelves. I think my percentage right now is 47%, which unfortunately is high for me. Pink Agave Hotel by V. Castro is a short story collection. It's giving me AHS Hotel vibes. Let me read you the synopsis actually. Readers are invited to the Pink Agave Hotel, so sorry, I gave it far too much credit apparently. Readers are invited to the Pink Agave Motel, where brutality and intimacy ooze across the pages, exploring the depths of the unhinged imagination and how human desire unlocks the impulse to bite. Castro's voice, influenced by Mexican folklore and a feminist perspective, illuminates a deeper view of how unrequited love affects every type of being alike. I'm not actually sure if all of the short stories revolve around the motel, but I think that would be a cool concept. I am stoked. 5. We've gotten really big numbers. This board has been very nice to me this time. Okay, so that's chance. Random number generator for number of pages. 398. I would take anything right around 400. Why do I have the longest books in the world on my TBR? Ooh. This book is 388 pages. That's close enough for me. This is How to Become the Dark Lord or Die Trying by Django Wexler. This is about a woman stuck in a time loop trying to defeat the Dark Lord. So instead of trying to defeat him this time, she's going to become him. It sounds fun and kind of stupid, and I'm into it. I really hope my phone is still recording. 1. Storygraph picks again. And unless we get another 1, this will be it. Okay, refresh the recommendations. I would like something that's on my physical TBR. No. I don't want to read any of this. And a lot of these are in my TBR. I just don't want to read any of them. Okay. You tell me what I should do, and I'll listen to you. I don't want that. So it looks like I can go back and forth. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at all the categories. Is it already on my TBR? No, it's not. Perfect. Okay, The Blood Trials by Annie Davenport. This is a completed fantasy duology. It's YA. Blending fantasy and science fiction, Annie Davenport's fast-paced, action-packed debut kicks off a duology of loyalty and rebellion in which a young black woman must survive. And Alexis Henderson and Hannah Witten blurbed it. So yeah, that's perfect. That's great for me. The board was so nice to me. I'm kind of scared for future months. This is my TBR for February, plus the 2 that I don't have. I'll just pop those up right there. This is perfect. This was such a wonderful experience. And there's only one other book that I really want to read this month, and that's Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. So this worked out perfectly. Let me know what you're reading this month. And if you have any horror books by Black authors, please let me know. I'm on the hunt for more. I have only found a few so far. And if you've made it this far, leave me a bat emoji. See you next time.